Do you ever wish you could clone yourself just to make one more check in phone call? As caregivers, we all know the value of a simple phone call, a chance to hear a loved one's voice, to chat about your day, or just to let them know someone is thinking of them. But with so many demands on our time, providing that constant connection can feel impossible. The reality is, our loved ones, especially those with memory issues, need more connections than we can often provide. But what if technology could help fill that gap? What if a friendly voice could check in daily, offering companionship and much needed layer of support? Today, we're exploring an incredible solution that provides just that. Welcome to Fading Memories, your source for all things dementia caregiving. I'm your host, Jen Fink, and I have had 3 generations of loved ones with dementia, and I'm here to share the knowledge I've gained with you. Welcome back, Fading Memories listeners. Thank you for joining me once again. I have a very interesting story and product to share with you today. With me is Kostin Kulescu. Oh, I think I managed. And he is the founder of Joy Calls, and he's going to explain all about that. But first, welcome, Kostin.
Thank you, Jennifer. It's good to be here. Appreciate being on your show.
Well, thank you so much for reaching out and joining me. So why don't we start a little bit with your background? It's pretty rare that I have guests who have not been some kind of caregiver, probably about a dozen or less in almost 500 episodes. So shoot, tell us all about you.
Yeah, so I think they say at some point everybody becomes a caregiver in their life,
Yep.
and I'm not fully there just yet, but I do have 2 aging parents that are divorced and living on different sides of the country. But the way I got involved in the senior care industry and technology to support older adults was really during COVID, when we saw kind of the whole world went to video communications, video calling. That's all we had.
Mm-hmm.
And funny enough, I've been in video conferencing for over 20 years. I was a CEO and founder of a company called Any Meeting, and that was a video conferencing platform like Zoom that was acquired in 2017. And we had a great exit. But man, if I would have known there was a global pandemic on its way, I might have held out for a few more bucks. But during the pandemic, everybody was doing Zoom, everybody was doing video calls, and my whole dream since I was a kid and watching the Jetsons, watching Star Trek was, there were these life-size screens that people would communicate through, and we were still using laptops, smartphones. So I wanted to do something with a TV. So I got to work with a co-founder, and we built a TV-based solution where you can hook up this little gadget to your TV and do video calls on the TV. And we put it up for sale on Amazon. And then we started getting all these calls from the customers. And they were like, hey, I'm trying to set this up for my mom, and she has dementia. And she can't use your app. She can't use your remote. How do we make this work? I was like, wow, okay. Did not expect that, but that's really interesting. We really want to support that use case. So then we got to work in simplifying the entire video calling process so that it's totally automated. People can just do it. Like, you could call your mom and the TV would turn itself on and it would automatically answer, and all of a sudden you would pop up on your mom's TV and mom would see you. And we made a really cool experience doing that, a really cool product. We were selected to pitch at the AARP Age Tech After Dark competition in 2024 at the CES show in Las Vegas. We ended up winning that show. I mean, that pitch competition for our TV product. And then we kept adding more things to it. So we added this AI companion named Joy. And Joy would pop up on your TV and have conversations with you. And she would, ask you questions. How's your day? Have you taken your medication? How do you feel? Do you have any pain? And she became this kind of AI companion for older adults on the TV that they were most comfortable with. But what we wanted to do was find a way to make it more accessible where people didn't have to hook up anything to their TV, wouldn't have to buy hardware. So we launched Joy Calls, and Joy Calls is this service that's fully available over the telephone. So, from a kind of very limited experience supporting older adults, supporting folks with cognitive decline, now about 5 years later, um, most of our customers, at least 50%, have some form of cognitive decline. We work very closely with their family caregivers. We are now working with senior living communities. We are very immersed into the entire community there. And interestingly enough, we just completed an application and a proposal to get a grant, from a federal grant, to be able to demonstrate whether or not Joy Calls can support folks in memory care, and basically do a real clinical study of supporting folks in memory care with mild cognitive impairment, earlier and mid-stage dementia. So I'm all in it. I will say there are family members of mine that have a diagnosis as well. They're early stage, and we're tracking it. And there's some fantastic medications that are coming out that are slowing Alzheimer's. So yeah, 5 years ago, no clue. 2025, I'm all in it.
Well, I have a story about phone calls and memory care. My mom lived in memory care from 2017 to, honest to God, the very start of the pandemic. She passed away March 31st, 2020, after falling and breaking her leg. But early on in her stage to 2017, about the time you were selling the video meeting portion,
Yep.
I showed up for a visit, and this one gal was absolutely adamant. I need to call my son. I mean, it was never like a request. It was always, it was just always adamant, which always
Mhm.
cracked me up. And the staff said, yeah, we left him a message. We'll let you know when he calls back. Now I'm assuming they called him, but that didn't satisfy her, and she was, demanding the phone book, which cracked me up because who used the phone book in 2017?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it sounds like she might have benefited from one of these kinds of calls. It wouldn't have been her son, but it might have scratched that itch that she had. I don't know what her issue was. I just know
Yeah.
she needed that phone call. She was up in arms over it. It was quite funny.
Well, I'd love to get your opinion on this, Jennifer.
Okay.
Um, so technology is advancing rapidly, and we built Joy Calls so that it's this really nice, friendly voice. It's a female voice right now, and she will talk to a person. And in the future, we'll probably have male voices. We might have different uh, accents or things like that. But I always get the question: does Joy sound like the adult child of let's say maybe the person that they're calling? And I think there's going to be this very interesting and healthy debate whether or not, if somebody has advanced dementia and really it's their child who's been the primary caregiver for, let's say, a decade as they've declined, if AI, and then by the way, the technology is already there where I can clone your voice,
Oh yeah.
iVoice. It's already there, right? Like,
Yep.
and Joy right now, we could clone someone's voice, and when she calls, it sounds exactly like that person. I think there's going to be a very interesting ethical debate if it brings the person comfort and it calms them down, let's say during sundowning. Should that be something that's offered as a technology to help support folks with dementia?
I think yes. Initially my thought was, I'm not sure it's necessary because I'm not sure my mom would have needed that. But I didn't take care of her day to day before my father passed away, which is what prompted the move to memory care. She thought I was her best friend, so just this friendly voice that brings them peace and a little serenity, a little happiness would probably be fine. But if they're very connected to that particular family member, I think I think it's a good option.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's one of the few It's one of the few cases where voice cloning might actually be helpful and ethical because it brings calm and comfort to someone.
Well, I've experienced that. So I've only had COVID once, and that was back last year in 2024. My husband brought it home, and I honestly lost my entire voice for 3 weeks. It was horrifying. I had to keep pushing off recordings, and I was convinced this one guy was going to think I was a total flake. But my web guy said, "Send me a sample of your voice." Like that's not difficult. And he just used he basically sampled it, like he recorded it off of his computer because he would have had to pay to download this. And other than the fact that the AI version of me spoke faster, just just enough, but I was like, yikes, that sounds like me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and he felt that if we had actually used the platform and paid for it, it probably would have sounded better.
Right.
I was like, that's kind of terrifying. Between all the video and all the audio of me out there, you could clone another one of me. Not that I think you'd want to.
There's a virtual Jennifer out there somewhere doing other podcasts.
I
But I just think it's a really interesting use case for dementia and Alzheimer's, memory care, where, that trusted person, that family caregiver, they've got their own life. They need respite every now and then. And imagine if technology gets to the point where for this person that, is struggling cognitively, you are able to just create this clone that's always there available to take care of them.
I'm having a thought. I facilitate a support group, and one of my members gets a large amount of phone calls from their person,
Mm-hmm.
to the point where she has to basically block the phone call. She accepts some, blocks the phone call for a while, and then unblocks it and accepts more. So she gets at least half, if not maybe 2/3.
Yeah.
We've never really discussed the math, but that's how she copes. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking, wow, that actually could benefit somebody like her that's, dealing with these, repetitive phone calls. Now, I've talked to people who get phone calls like, my phone's not working right or the TV's not working right because they're not navigating the technology that they once could. So I don't know. You'll have to tell me if Joy calls could handle that.
Well, so the way we build Joy Calls right now, and it's a new product, it's new to the market, and we are really grateful for feedback. We engage with customers every time they want to engage with us. We built it so Joy calls out right now, and it's a maximum of 5 calls per day. But somebody who really needs engagement, we can have that be, morning, mid morning, noon, afternoon, evening calls to check in and chat about something. And to your earlier point, it's possible that a lot of those conversations are the same conversations over and over again. And that's where Joy calls could be so beneficial to provide that respite, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, we will be rolling out also the ability to call Joy. We're just kind of building that out in phases. So I'm very intrigued to see if that will provide respite to folks that really feel the need to talk.
That makes sense. So explain to me and the audience how exactly this works. You kind of dove into it a little bit, but
Yeah. So if somebody wanted to try it out, it's totally free right now. And we invite everybody to go to joycalls.ai, and there's a sign up button and you can sign up for free. And you just enter your name, email address, pick a password, basically create an account. It'll ask you, who is this for? Is it for you or is it for a loved one? Let's say you pick a loved one, you enter the name of the loved one, you would enter their phone number, the loved one's phone number, so Joy can call them. Also, their zip code, because Joy will bring up things that are topical to where they live. And a cool thing is Joy also can look up headlines in the area, and she can also search the web on behalf of that person and provide results from the web just over the phone call.
wow.
So yeah. So you put in the zip code, and then it asks you a few questions. What are your loved one's interests? who are some of your loved ones' family members so that Joy can, really keep the conversation natural. And then what are some topics to avoid if there are things that Joy should not bring up? Then the last screen of the sign up process is let's actually schedule a call. And we've got about a dozen different types of calls, like a general, friendly check in, just call to chat, a wellness check in, make sure health is okay, how's the house looking, etc. There's a medication check, asking if they've taken their meds. There's a meal check, hydration check. So quite a few call types. So generally, our customers will pick friendly check-in, say 10 a.m. every day, and hit save. And now Joy will call that loved one every day at 10 a.m. to check in with them and see how they're doing. For the first call, Joy will introduce herself, and she will be able to essentially get to know the person through their conversation. And she also has all the memories, and she's able to recall what they talked about yesterday. So it's really, really a fantastic experience, we think.
That's fantastic and only slightly scary.
A little bit, I do worry that people might think this could be fraudulent. This could be, how is this information going to be used? And really, our only goal is to create a personable companion that can connect with your loved one similarly to how you do. And we do also say, like, this is not a replacement for you. You should keep calling your loved one, keep doing everything you normally do. But this is additive because by this point in their life, they're not getting a whole lot of calls. And this, don't just rely on Joy. Keep doing your part,
Oh,
but throw it
definitely.
as a tool. Yeah.
Well, I've used AI for a couple of years, and I mentioned, my web guy generated a show intro for me, an episode intro, without my having a voice then, which was
Wow.
also scary.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people understandably are hesitant to use AI stuff, which I get. But if you like, some people say, oh, it takes more resources, energy, etc. If you go into like Chat GPT and do it, like instead of a typical Google search, you go into Chat GPT. You do a Google search, the first thing that comes up is an AI response. So
Oh,
you
definitely.
can't get away from it. We might want to, but
Hey,
this sounds like a better use of AI than a lot of other things. And I'm assuming there's built-in protections so that if the loved one starts talking about something harmful or, maybe program it so it can't talk about politics.
Well, that's definitely why we have the box of like topics not to discuss, right? Like topics to avoid. We have that. But we do also have um, call 911. So if somebody starts talking about they're short of breath, anything that might seem like an urgent medical condition, Joy will immediately tell them, "Hey, you need to hang up the phone and call 911." If they start talking about hurting themselves, dark thoughts, things like that, Joy may suggest the suicide prevention hotline 988. Also, all of the conversations are transcribed and made available to the family member. So the family member can see every conversation. After every conversation, there's a small summary generated, and we send a text message to that family member and say, "Hey, Joy just spoke with your loved one, and here's a quick summary. If you want to see the whole thing, you can log into your account and see the whole thing." And they can even uh, listen to the entire conversation. We have the calls recorded as well. So this way, it's perfectly safe. We find that the service is being purchased by the adult child many times. So because they're the customer, they do get all this visibility, right?
Makes
And
sense.
if mom say, she really wants to have a personal connection with Joy, they'll have to negotiate that amongst themselves. Like, hey, don't read my transcripts, don't listen to my recordings. Joy's my friend. So we let the families work that out. But in general, the family caregiver has full visibility. And we believe that's also for safety. We want to make sure that everything that's happening with Joy, there is somebody reviewing it, and they're comfortable with it.
Still a human involved.
Human in the loop, they call it. That's right.
Well, as long as we stay in the loop, that should be good. Is there anything else the listeners should know about joy calls before I let you go back to doing all this?
Working on joy. We're
Yeah.
gonna make joy better every day.
Because I could have used joy calls to answer all the phone calls. My dad ended up with kidney failure in the hospital and his memory wasn't great. That was a fun time. Two parents with no memories. And he called constantly. Where's my card? It's like, I seriously needed an AI person or whatever, AI companion, yes, to deal with him because oh yeah. Even thinking back, that was late 2016. It's still hard to think about.
Well, I'm sorry you had to go through that, Jennifer. It's tough, and I don't know how many of my phone calls I'll outsource to AI. I still, check in with mom and dad and all that. But this is a great tool. It's a great resource that we can do for our loved ones in addition to what we already do. I did want to mention we're working on, we have a few other products as well that folks might find helpful. So we have this other website, onscreeninc.com. That's the parent company of Joy Calls. That's where they can buy Joy TV if they're interested in seeing their loved one. So that was our first product. We've recently rebranded it to Joy TV. They can go on there, purchase it, hook it up for mom. If mom's in memory care, now they can call mom every day and see mom, and mom can see them through the TV, and mom won't have to deal with small screens or any other technology. So that's pretty cool. We also have a tablet version of that. So if they just want to give mom a tablet that auto answers when they call, that can have medication reminders, that can have Joy talk to them through the tablet, we have that as well on our website. And finally, if there are any senior living executives, senior living operators, we're also building joyliving.ai, which is a offering that actually does answer the phone right now. So we hope to help their receptionists out by answering calls for senior living communities, also routing calls wherever they need to go. That's also part of a bundle where they can purchase Joy Calls for every resident. So we kind of have the whole community covered, answering calls, calling the residents, checking in with them, and then also providing them with daily insights about what folks are talking about, where there might be an urgent issue to address. And yeah, we're just building out a phenomenal technology platform built on AI to help support older adults and their care partners. So yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about that.
Well, it sounds fantastic, and I can appreciate the benefits of Joy TV because early on in the pandemic, we streamed a Zoom call with our friends to our 85-inch television. That was really nice, and I have the most adorable picture of one of my golden retrievers looking at the TV. I mean, it was just, it's just like a snapshot of what that time of life was like, and I'm fascinated because I've been doing this show for a little over 7 years, and they've there's been talk about like, will robots end up, being part of like memory care, living and caring. And it seems like we skipped over the physical robots and we just went to the AI companion.
Yeah, I think they will certainly be here once they're affordable enough. And I was listening to Elon Musk speak on this topic, and he thinks that a full humanoid robot will cost $20,000 to $30,000 once they're mass producing them at like they produce over 1 million. Um, and that will be extremely helpful because the AI companions, they can't lift you up if they
Yeah.
can't carry your groceries in. They can't do many things other than companionship and knowledge and help with that. But we hope that Joy Calls is part of that future, and maybe we'll be bringing some robots as part of Joy's AI companionship. Who knows?
Well, that sounds interesting. And I'm going to still be here doing this. So I'll just keep checking in on the technology into caregiving. And, as one of those Gen Xers that watched the Jetsons, I'm still waiting for the food Arakasackle cycle.
There you go. Did
which,
that was the thing that just made the food pop up or
yes, and I actually read a book series that's set in the 2060s, which this book series is about when I'll be 100, and they have what they call their auto chef, which is much easier to pronounce. You have to stock it, but I don't know. They don't really describe how it works, but I'm like, and they have mini auto chefs in cars. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, the future is certainly interesting. We are accelerating towards it with all these AI companions, and soon there'll be self-driving cars everywhere. Then there's going to be robots everywhere. Yeah, 2060 is going to be an interesting time.
Well, I plan on still being around then, so I'll
Absolutely.
be old. I'll need that self-driving car and the auto chef.
Who knows? Maybe we'll have all new bodies by then. They might just brain transplant. Who knows?
That sounds more like 2160. I hope.
Yep.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
Well, this has been terrific. I appreciate you coming on and explaining about joy calls and all the other pieces, parts you're working on, because I think, caregivers need all the help they can get, as you are probably experiencing. And, a little AI companion here, maybe a little robot there. It just makes, I think it gives you a fuller quilt of caregiving.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
No, it makes perfect sense, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to meet people where they are. If they want to use the TV for reminders, if they want to use a smaller tablet, if they want to get a phone call about reminders, we're bringing all of this to the table. So, yeah,
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing and best of luck with all of this endeavor.
perfect. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Great to be here.